What's a great DIY project that really improved the quality of your camping or overlanding? Sometimes you do a DIY project on your rig because you're trying to save a few dollars, and sometimes you create a DIY solution because the thing you want just doesn't exist. Today, I'm going to talk about some of the DIY masterpieces I've created over the years that really worked out, and it's the stuff that I still use to this day. You're not going to want to miss this one. Also, before I even roll the intro, let me ask a favor. This thing's going to be all of 15 minutes. Do me a solid and stick around for it. Just listen through this one time. I promise not to waste your time on this episode. Then, after listening through it, drop me a review, drop me a comment, drop me an email. Just let me know whether you love it or you hate it. But either way, tell me why. All I ask, not many of us popped out knowing how to be the life of the podcast. We have to learn it like everything else. So seriously, like it, hate it, help a guy out here. Your feedback really helps me know what to trim, what to add, where to dial it up, where to dial it back. Enough said. Let's roll the intro, which, by the way, if that's what would make you click next, let me know that too. Nothing sacred here. Tell me it's cringe and it's history. Hello and welcome. My wife Susan and I, we're on a mission to explore the byways of this country to find the food, the people, and even the odd stuff. We're exploring where the roads lead after you leave the interstates behind and beyond where the roads end. Whether you're thinking about getting started overlanding or rocking a fully built rig, I'll be talking about the places we go and giving tips to make your journeys go smoother. And it all starts now on this episode of The Dirt Road Tourist. Okay, so I promised some DIY goodness here. There are a few things that are on or around my rig that I've mostly created by necessity. I just couldn't find something that does what I needed it to do. I wanted to get into a few of them here on this episode. I've made a few creations that ultimately didn't work like I wanted them to, or I later found something online that was more polished or served the function better than what I'd made. I'm not going to waste your time with the latter. I'm only telling you about the things that are still in use on my rig today, have stood the test of time, and have held up to everything I can throw at them. Now, I'm not a welder, I'm not a master machinist, so none of these projects require more than the common tools that you probably already have hanging around the house now. You don't even have to be particularly handy. God knows I'm not. But I found these creations to be really handy on my rig. Okay, enough build up. Let's get into it. These are 5 DIY items that I think are worth anybody who does overlanding taking the time to make for themselves. So when I got a pair of Renogy 100-watt solar panels, I was looking for a way to mount them to the roof of the truck without buying a roof rack. This is a case where I was trying to save myself a few bucks here. And I found these 30-pound magnets on Amazon. They're round, rubberized, flat little magnets, a little bit about the size of a $half. And they had a threaded bolt sticking out from one side so you can fasten them to stuff. And I bolted these to the bottom sides of the solar panels and tried using those to stick them down to the roof, and they actually worked. However, it didn't stop them from creeping me the heck out, though. Every time I was going down the highway, I was waiting, looking in the rearview mirror, looking to see my solar panels sailing through the wind. And it would be just my luck that there's some supercar, a Lotus or something like that behind me going right into their windshield. So I ended up getting a roof rack, and the solar panels are now securely bolted to the roof. But that left me with this pack of these magnets, these rubberized magnets. And there was another thing that I was looking at a little bit later trying to add to the rig. And those magnets ended up coming back into play and becoming really handy. So one of the things that I wanted to add to the back end of the truck for a while, just simply because it was sort of an annoyance not having a solution for this, was a paper towel holder. Sounds really simple. And I see a lot of people take a bungee cord, they'll stretch it across, between the uprights of their bed rack, and they'll hang their paper towels there. And does it work? Sure, that works okay. But I was looking for something a little more elegant, and I went on Amazon and I was looking for a metal paper towel holder, and the kind that you hang underneath the cabinet there has a flat plate, little upright, and then there's a bar that goes across that you hang the paper towels on. And I ended up getting one of those for about 7 bucks. And I popped 3 holes through the little mounting plate that you would ordinarily screw up into the underside of your cabinets. And I mounted some 3 of these magnets, these little 30-pound magnets, to the foot there of the paper towel holder. And what that ended up yielding for me was this paper towel holder now that I can stick to the bed rack, I can stick it to the side of the truck, I can stick it to anywhere I want to put a roll of paper towels. And it's really handy to have this thing when we're in camp to be able to just put it on the back of the bed rack. It's right there by the tailgate where I'm cooking, and it's I have my paper towels right there where I need them to be. But it does more than that. If you're the kind who likes to do your own oil changes, your own brake jobs, you can take this magnetic paper towel holder and you can stick it to the other side of the hood, or you can stick it to the side of the body right up above the wheel well. It's really, really handy to be able to have a roll of paper towels right there where you need them while you're doing these jobs on your vehicle. And that was one of the things that ended up being really handy. It does not waver at all. Each one of these are 30-pound magnets. So I've got 3 of them on the underside of this paper towel holder. So driving around bumpy roads, 70 miles an hour down the freeway, that paper towel holder is going nowhere. And I can even attest that at highway speeds, even if you forget to take your roll of paper towels off of it, it's not going to come loose. It's not going to fall off the truck. I know this. Ask me how I know. It's because I actually did this and looked back, and I'm streaming like newlyweds right here. This big thing of paper towels is streaming behind me. And I've got people driving around behind me laughing their butts off at me. So I had to pull over and, take the roll of paper towels off and stow them back in the drawer where they belong. So it's definitely wherever you stick it, it's going to stay. And this thing has just proven to be handy for so many things, for camping, for working on the vehicle, for just whatever I need to do on and around the truck. To be able to have a roll of paper towels where I want them is awesome. So it's a really cheap project. You get, a bag of these magnets for, I think I may have paid about $15 for the magnets and another 7 bucks for the roll up for the paper towel roll holder. And it's a really cheap DIY that is just something that you'll find useful every time you go out with your rig. Another thing I had, the magnets came in, I think it was like a pack of 15 or so, might have been a pack a dozen. And I used 3 of them on a paper towel holder. So what am I going to do with the rest of these? Well, another pain point that I had on my rig was I have a trasheroo. And trasheroos, they're great if you have a rear mounted spare like they have on the Jeeps, but I drive a Tacoma. So I don't have anything to hang this trasheroo off of. I know I see people, they will put the straps around their tailgate and they'll mount it to the back of their tailgate, and that's great while the vehicle is actually in motion or while the tailgate's shut. But as soon as you get into camp and you drop that tailgate is my main table. All of my cooking gets done on that. That's my flat surface in camp that I use for everything. And once you drop that tailgate, that trasheroo is now facing the ground. It's horizontal to the ground, and it's just not in a place where it's really useful. So there was a reinforced seam along the top back side of the trasheroo, and I ended up just punching some grommet holes into that back seam tape, and I ended up mounting some of these magnets through that. And I ended up putting, I think it was 5 of them across there, and now I can take that trasheroo and I can stick that to the side of the bed of the truck, or I can stick it to the bed, the bed rack, wherever I really want to take that trasheroo. I can just basically mount it to the side of the vehicle, and it holds great. The magnets, again, I mentioned before, they're rubberized, so they're not going to scratch your paint. They're not going to scratch your bed rack or cause any kind of damage. We're going down trails and we're getting all kinds of pinstriping and trail rash and everything. So I don't know that that's necessarily a worry for me, and especially with the rubber coating, it's fine. But being able to take that trasharoo and just plop it onto the side of the truck, throw a trash bag in there, and I'm great when I'm in camp. It just makes it really versatile, and it makes it to where you can take this trash bag, this big trasharoo, and mount it wherever you need it. Another one of the things that really worked out for me because of the type of bed rack, I have one of the hook road low profile bed racks, and the cross members are too wide for me to use the standard mounting brackets that come with the rooftop tent. So the only really good way to mount a rooftop tent to these things is to actually punch a hole through the crossbars of the bed rack and then run a bolt down through it from the T slot, the T rail on the bottom of the rooftop tent, which I did. And I wanted a way to make it a little bit easier to bolt and unbolt the rooftop tent from the bed rack. So I ended up getting a pack of these threaded knobs off of Amazon that were the right thread and the right size for the bolts that come down from the T rail of the rooftop tent. And I just basically take these hand knobs, these threaded knobs, and just run them up to secure my rooftop tent down to the bed rack. And it makes it real easy if I ever wanted to take it off. I don't even, it's a toolless process. I don't even need to have any kind of power tools to do this. I just reach up and I can loosen these knobs, pull these knobs back, and lift the tent right off. That worked out really great for that particular purpose. But then I had a bag full of these threaded knobs, and what am I going to do with those? Well, they went into a drawer for a while until I ended up kind of running into another need for these whenever it was I wanted to mount my awning on the very back of the bed rack of the truck. I wanted the awning to actually go out over the tailgate and kind of provide some shade and some cover whenever I'm cooking, whenever I'm doing stuff off the tailgate. So I wanted to find a way to actually mount my awning, which is just a straight awning, off the back of the rig. So I have these T slots, these T brackets or T rails that are on the bottom of the rooftop tent, and I could slide some nuts into those holders, and then I could use the threaded knobs to actually secure those to the bottom of the rooftop tent. And then I ended up getting some shelf brackets from Lowe's and using those as brackets to mount my awning to. And this is great because all I got to do is just loosen these threaded knobs, pull it back, and I can take the awning on and off the rig. But these things hold it really securely on the back there. And again, no tools required. I can take it off, put it back on without having any tools. Makes it for a really fast process to be able to take the awning on and off the truck. Another one of the things that I have here that's really useful, and this is one of the things that I think would be useful for anybody that uses a rooftop tent. And it's one of the big things. There are camping pillows and then there are pillows. And it's impossible to find a camping pillow that truly duplicates the kind of comfort that you have in your bed at home. And this is kind of what I was looking for. I was looking for a home style of pillow, but something that is flat enough to where you can actually fold this up into your rooftop tent. And I found that there really isn't anything out there. I got a whole bunch of different camping pillows, got the inflating kind, got the kind that's memory foam that are, the little small packable ones that roll up into a little bag like this, but they're, about a foot wide and, about 8 inches tall. And they're just not like they don't give you a pillow like you have like you're used to at home. So I was looking for something where I could duplicate that home bed comfort, but take that into the rooftop tent. So the idea that I ended up having was to get a pillowcase for one of the big body pillows, the big long body pillows, and you can buy the pillowcases for these things right off of Amazon. And they have zipper on one end. They're fully enclosed. And then you can get a bag of the memory foam, just chopped up memory foam. You can get big old bags of this. You can find that on Amazon. And none of these things are particularly expensive. And you take one of these pillowcases, fill it about halfway full with the memory foam, and you want to take a strip of Velcro and sew it to the top side of one end of that body pillow cover, the pillow cover, and then you want to tape it to the bottom side, stitch it to the other side of the other end of the pillowcase. When you shake all this memory foam down to one end of that body pillow cover, you can then fold it over on top of itself, over the end of itself, and then fasten the Velcro strips together, and you've got a nice, thick, house style pillow. Redistribute all the memory foam, the chopped up memory foam throughout the pillow. What you're left with is a pillow, a long, skinny, snake like body pillow that will crush down to about a quarter inch thick. It's really nothing. And you lay these out across your rooftop tent, across the bed in your rooftop tent, and you can close your rooftop tent right down on top of it. Like I said, they go down to, I checked it, this thing crushes down to about a quarter of an inch, so it's nothing. Most rooftop tents will close down on top of this thing with no problem whatsoever. But once you get up in there, you shake all that memory foam down to one end, roll it around, and you've got a pillow just like you would have at the house. And they are so comfortable. So these are just a few of the DIY projects that I use on my rig. Use it every time we go out. They've proven to be really, really useful and love them. So I hope this gives you guys some ideas out there, some things that you might want to actually pick up the materials for and try making for yourself. If you have any questions about how I made this or want a little bit more details about, how I actually went about making some of the things that I described in here, shoot me an email. I'm Ken at dirtroadtourist.com. That's Ken at dirtroadtourist.com. Send me an email. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you might have about these things. So anyway, I hope this gives you some inspiration to get out there and do some DIY projects that help your camping experience and help your rig get a little bit better. That's all I've got for this week, so have a great week, and as I always say, go see something amazing.